Good kill, good kill. Hey, good kill.
Hey guys, I'd like to welcome you back to another video. Today we are here once again with an ED update. This has not gone live, but it will be going in the near future. But we're here to highlight some of the upcoming changes to the flight model and the flickus of the F-16 Viper by Eagle Dynamics. Now, as many of you are aware, a couple months ago, ED pushed out some updates for the F-16's flight model, which really changed the aircraft's ability to dogfight and defend itself and basically become a dogfighting monster that it was, intended to be. The upcoming changes for the F-16 flight model I've put on the screen now. There are some problems they knew about, which have been resolved. Those are on the screen. And there are some new features coming as well, some new changes to the flight model. And those are on your screen now. So if you want to have a deeper in-depth, read of the changes that are coming up, go ahead and pause the video and read at your own discretion. For the rest of us, we're going to move on. I'm going to showcase a couple of the new features that are coming up. And as always, a big thank you to ED for allowing us to have a sneak peek at these updates before they go live. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. All right, one of the things I want to highlight here, as you saw, there were several changes, but this is one of the ones that I think is easy to show off. We're going to take off here, and I'm going to initiate a turn. I'm going to do full stick back, and as I'm doing the turn, I'm going to hit the gears up. And what you're going to see is kind of a yank, and you're going to see it here in a second. Here we go. We're going to turn, and I'm going to hit the gear up there. Look at that. You see that, like, all of a sudden it just janks on you? Let me show you that again. But I think it's pretty obvious. Very easy to see, yeah? Okay, here we go. Off the ground again. We'll turn the opposite way this time. And full stick back and gear up. And here comes the pull. There you go. You see that? That's the flickus mode changing. And it's a little bit rough, and that has since been fixed. Let me show you the new version. Little changes like this, it's minor tweaking, but it makes a really big difference in the performance of the aircraft. Here we go. We'll take off. About 200-ish knots. There we go. And we'll initiate our turn. Full stick back. And we'll hit the gear. Look at that. No pull. Smooth as butter. You see that? No weird yanking movement. Just a nice, beautiful, smooth turn. Very nice. One of the biggest changes that I think happened was the yaw oscillation at low altitude, high speeds. If you guys remember, all of a sudden we would have, you'd be flying fast and low like this, and then it would be like something would, almost feels like you hit a bird or something. There was this weird oscillation. There was a yaw oscillation. That appears to be gone, which provides you a much more smoother flight experience on the deck. This actually becomes important when rate fighting on the ground. I think this will make a big difference there. The aircraft will feel much more stable, and obviously you won't have those yaw oscillations. Obviously there's still a little bit of turbulence, as you would expect, but nothing crazy like the yaw oscillations. Look at that. Beautiful. Now, the F-16 in general, it's going to have better roll rate. It's going to have a more stable nose. That's going to give you a better gun solution, better gun tracks. So you're going to notice all of those changes, more changes like that when you get this update and, you start dogfighting. You're going to see it. Speaking of dogfighting, they've also been working on the AI's dogfighting abilities. Now, I will be highlighting this in a future video, but we can have a little sample here today. Look at this. Merge with a Hornet who just took me one circle. He made an active effort to take me one circle. Look at this. Pointing his nose at me. Let me show you what this thing can do. Now, it doesn't matter how smart the Hornet is. If I keep him in a two-circle fight like this, I should be able to absolutely crush him. But let's see what this Viper can do now. I can already feel a little bit more stability in the nose. I don't feel like I'm constantly trying to keep the nose stable. 300 knots there. It's a little slow, but we're going to pull him into the HUD here, see what we can do. There we go. Look at that. That nose felt pretty stable. I don't know if you guys can tell when you're watching it, but to me, I felt like I had 100% control over the nose there. Now, one of the issues with the F-16 in the past was the inability to hold negative Gs. You can do that now, which allows you to have more creative jink options. So we have a Hornet on our tail here, and I'm going to see if I can get him off my 6 here using the improvements to the Viper. A little bit of negative Gs here and there. Remember to observe a little bit of the new behavior of the AI, who is in a downward spiral with me right now in an advantageous position. Now as we drag this to the ground, we're gonna pull this into a rate fight. There we go. He's gonna have to do his deck transition, and he knows he's in big trouble now. Do not want to be on the deck with a Viper. I'll go ahead and pull him into the HUD here. And look at that nose come around. Quick and stable. Wonderful. Okay, let's pull him in. I pulled a little late on the stick there, but you saw the F-16 give me a pretty decent pull there. You see, the AI is actually doing some interesting things. I have, you know, done enough dogfights that I've killed people much easier than this. This AI is, he's got some upgrades. And again, we're gonna highlight more of this in the future, but in an upcoming video. But you can see the Hornet doing a fantastic job trying to neutralize into the one circle. He's actually flipped the tables on me. He made me overshoot there. Now, I willingly went into the one circle situation with him, but he did a good job flipping the fight. So you can see if you make mistakes against the AI now, they will punish you. Look at that. Just gotta stay out of his nose. And you can see those vapors coming off the F-18. The AI is pulling hard on that stick. Okay, we're bingo. So I gotta wrap this up. And I'm nice and light now. This is right around where in the past I would see the oscillations when the F-16 is light, and when you're fast and low on the deck like this, you would start to see the nose oscillate, and it would be scary sometimes. You would feel like maybe, you know, the oscillation could get you killed. But anyway, that's enough of this Hornet. We got him on the deck in a raid fight. I'm just gonna yank him into the HUD here, even though I'm pretty slow. Bump it up to 300-ish knots, pull him into the HUD here, and one dead Hornet. That's what happens when the Viper is done playing around. Splash one Hornet. So pretty awesome changes to the Viper, guys.